Kevin Durant has stated his wish as to where he wants to be traded, but it seems like the Suns could care less about that. In the world of the NBA, it's all about business, and Phoenix made sure to remind Durant about the cruel nature of how things are done here. So could one of the 3 preferred teams that Durant would want to go to create enough of a competitive package for him? And if not, where are we going to see Kevin play? The situation between Durant and his next team took a surprising turn for the worst for the 36-year-old. Although he stated his wishes as to where he wants to play from the next season onwards, the Suns are adamant that they won't respect any of this if the packages coming from these teams are not competitive enough. Let's not forget what the Suns had to give up when it comes to landing Durant. 4 first-round picks, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and Jay Crowder. So if you think that they'll play the Good Samaritan here and just let Durant go on his own terms, you thought wrong. According to Mark Stein, Durant's wish is probably going to get denied if one of his preferred teams has a less competitive package compared to another suitor out there. Elaborating further on this, Stein said, "Sources say the Suns, meanwhile, are not promising to send Durant to any of his preferred destinations. They are open to a mutually beneficial trade to the Spurs, Rockets, or Heat if they end up liking the return. But it appears that Phoenix is prepared to make the best deal it can after surrendering a staggering deal to acquire Durant from Brooklyn in the first place in February 2023. So what is the package that a team needs to make in order to land Durant on their team? After the latest statement from the Suns, it seems like anyone could be a competitor for Kevin's signature, even though he might not prefer to play on that team whatsoever. In the following season, Durant is set to earn $54.7 million, and by averaging 26.6 points, 6 rebounds, and 4.2 assists in the previous campaign, the Durantula has proven that he is still an elite offensive force. He is the 8th overall scorer in the league, and a team like the Spurs could be smart to aggressively pursue a trade like this one. The Spurs are on Durant's short list as well, apart from the Rockets and Miami Heat, and now that they have the strongest combination of active players and draft picks that could fit the Suns' standards, it's highly likely that Phoenix will consider this package as the most competitive. The Spurs are ready to give up Jeremy Sochan, Keldon Johnson, Harrison Barnes, and the 14th pick of this draft in order to land the Suns forward. Of course, it's a massive package that Phoenix needs to be smart to consider, because they do know for a fact that they can't recoup nearly the same package that they gave up for Durant. But apart from the shortlisted teams on Durant's mind, what other teams can jump in the pursuit of Kevin Durant? The Clippers have emerged as a surprising candidate for Durant, as reported by Brian Windhorst from ESPN. According to Brian, the Clippers are a sleeper candidate for Durant's services, but the presence of Kawhi and Harden, the latter being the former teammate of Kevin, could play a huge role in his decision. Of course, him playing the same position as Kawhi would mean that Durant will have to adapt a little bit and maybe be promoted to the power forward. But nevertheless, the Clippers will give anything they can in order to pursue this trade. Elaborating further on this scenario, Windhorst said, "You don't see Toronto on Durant's list, but the Raptors are one of the teams lurking out there, and I think there are a couple of others, including the Los Angeles Clippers and potentially even the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is still wide open. Maybe Durant gets what he wants. Maybe he has to accept something else." But again, we need to consider the packages that other teams could be preparing for Durant outside of this circle, which involve the New York Knicks as well. The Eastern Conference finalists from this year's playoffs could offer the services of Karl Anthony Towns, as it seems like the entire team was displeased with his defensive presence and offensive shenanigans throughout the playoffs. More often than not, they turned out to be the killer of New York's game, and whether we like it or not, it's a massive problem that they need to address if they want to make a deeper run and reach the finals. The missing piece? Kevin Durant. There's been tons of mutual interest expressed in the past, as the Knicks tried offering the Suns a package for Durant in February, but the Phoenix team declined it. Now the pieces are looking a little bit different because of everything that happened off the court, and Durant did say that he would have put the Knicks on top of his landing spots if the team wanted to pursue a trade for him. but the downside is the fact that the Knicks are not ready to give up a lot of their future in terms of picks, and the Suns are more or less centering their trade around draft picks. Yes, the Spurs would be giving one draft pick in their package, but they would also send 2 young players and a veteran as well. On the other hand, the same cannot be said for the other contenders, and this is probably the primary reason why the Knicks won't pursue a trade centered around Durant. What about the Timberwolves? They do have some strong pieces that could draw the attention of the Suns, and even though they are not on the short list of Durant, it would be a deadly duo to see Anthony Edwards and Kevin Durant play for the same team. Edwards admitted that Durant was one of his idols when he was growing up and learning the game of basketball, so you could only imagine how motivated he's going to be when it comes to playing alongside Kevin. But all of the momentum that Minnesota gathered throughout the last couple of weeks has now suddenly vanished, and they are highly unlikely to pursue a trade for Durant, similar to how the Knicks are going to behave as well. And this brings us to the rest of the 2 teams that are ready to trade for Durant, the Heat and the Rockets. There are some strings and close connections that Durant has with the current constellation of the Houston Rockets, such as the assistant coach, Royal Ivey. Both of them played at the University of Texas and shared the court as teammates through their time with the Thunder. And according to Ime Udoka, the head coach of the Rockets, Durant will be a massive presence on their team. Elaborating further on this, Udoka said, Durant's day-to-day approach is unlike anybody I've been around or seen. With all the accolades, he still has a chip and is grumpy as hell every other day, but he holds himself to a high standard. When it comes to the Miami Heat, it seems like the services of Kel'el Ware are going to be crucial for the Suns' demand. A massive hole has been left after the departure of DeAndre Ayton, and if the Suns are going to bring a young core player to their team, they'd want to cover this hole. Now that the contract of Devin Booker is going to be extended, it would be interesting to see under which circumstances the rest of the roster is going to be worked on. When addressing the potential package that the Heat can send for Durant, Jake Fisher said, Miami's ultimate willingness to surrender Kel'el Ware, given the Suns' noted hole at center, could be the true swing factor in the Heat's Durant pursuit. In February, it was clear. Sources say Miami was unwilling at the trade deadline to part with either of its recent first-round draft successes, Ware or Jaime Jaquez Jr. Could that change now after Miami fell so flat in the playoffs with its post-Butler roster? It's up to us to wait and see, but as of now, Durant's shortlist could be shocked by teams like the Clippers, the Knicks, and potentially even the Wolves. With all this in mind, what do you think is the next move for Durant, and more importantly, which package do you think is the best one for the 36-year-old forward? Let us know in the comments below, and once you do that, make sure to click on the video that appears on your screen right now.